You think about it, the category that really only refers to the sustained winds, the power of the winds, how strong those are. So you can still have life-threatening and dangerous storm surge, even with the Category 1 storm. So here's a look at that storm surge potential along the coast and along the Cape Fear River, looking at that close to 5 feet. Heading up to Topsail, also near Emerald Isle, near Beaufort, close to around 5 to 7 feet. And then near the Neuse River, that's close to around 10 to 12 feet. As we get farther to the north in the Tar River, already getting some reports of that flooding so far. That's close to 10 to 12 feet. And then near the Outer Banks, near 5 to 7 feet. Here's the latest look at Hurricane Florence. The outer bands of that already pushing into sections of central North Carolina, already looking at the bulk of that heavy rainfall moving along the coastal plain. That eye of that storm, that is only about 78 miles away from Wilmington, so getting very close. But this is moving at a slow crawl, only moving to the west around 5 miles per hour. And that slow movement is why we will see a lot of heavy rainfall. Those showers continue to move to the southwest right now. So usually a different direction from what we're used to, but that's all due to that flow of the hurricane. So heavier rainfall moving through Henderson, similar conditions in Macon, a few spotty showers moving through Wake County. Also rain pushing towards Anderson Creek and Goldsboro. And then farther to the south, I've been watching some weak rotation with this line of stronger storms pushing into Lumberton. We'll have to continue to keep an eye out for that. That's why we have a tornado watch that is in effect for most of the counties off to the east of us along the coastal plain, but we still have a marginal risk for severe weather along and east of Interstate 95. That does include Rocky Mount, Goldsboro, sections of Sampson County. We can't rule out an isolated brief spin up tornado in that area as we head throughout the evening hours. So keeping a very close eye on those showers that move through. Here's the latest look at Hurricane Florence. Maximum sustained winds at 100 miles per hour. It is a Category 2 storm. That track really hasn't changed too much. Expected to make landfall late tonight into early Friday, and then just slowing down. Notice from around Wrightsville Beach as it gets towards Myrtle Beach and sections of South Carolina, only moving about 100 to 200 miles over a day or so. So that's why that threat for dangerous flooding is a huge issue. The center of that pushing through central sections of South Carolina and then eventually weakening to a tropical depression as that pulls out farther to the north. Now, we've been talking about don't just pay attention to where that cone is, because the impacts from that storm can stretch far away from the center, especially with the storm of this size. That is about 560 miles apart. Notice the distance from the southern tip of South Carolina to North Carolina, that is 328 miles. That's why we will still likely see impacts. Already seeing some impacts in our area. Here's a look at the latest watches and warnings. Looking at that tropical storm warning has been expanded farther to the north to include portions of the triangle. So that now includes Wake, Franklin, and Nash County, also Chatham County, and then looking at a hurricane warning out for Sampson and Wayne County, and that's until further notice. Here's a look at the impacts moving from north to south. So in Roxboro, near Oxford, Norlina, Roanoke Rapids, South Hill, 3 to 5 inches of rain possible through next week. Sustained winds between 15 to 25 miles per hour, gusting as high as 35 miles per hour. Farther to the south, around most of the triangle near Butner, Durham, Chapel Hill, Wake Forest, Lewisburg, and Nashville, 5 to 10 inches of rainfall possible. Could definitely lead to flooding. Sustained winds around 20 to 30 miles per hour, gusting as high as 45 miles per hour. And then that threat increases as we move farther to the south in Sanford, Lillington, Holly Springs, Smithfield, southern sections of Wake County near Wendell, Wilson, and Tarboro. 10 to 15 inches of rain possible. Sustained winds 30 to 40 miles per hour, gusting around 50. And then this is where we'll see that highest impact across the Sandhills near Fayetteville, Dunn, Clinton, Goldsboro. 10 to 20 inches of rain. Sustained winds between 40 to 50 miles per hour, gusting as high as 60 to 70 miles per hour. So let's time things out. Already seeing some of those outer bands moving across central North Carolina. That eye getting closer to the southern tip of the state as we head into late tonight into very early Friday morning. And then Friday morning, that's when we'll have more of that heavier rainfall pushing into the Sandhills. We'll see more of those outer bands moving across the triangle. Similar conditions heading throughout the remainder of the day on Friday, close to noon. Notice how much that rain really picks up across the Sandhills. Lighter showers the farther north you go. And then heavy rain just sitting in the sand hills. That's why we're so worried about that flooding in that region. Also, similar conditions near the coast. They could see 20+ inches in that region. And then as we head into Saturday, we'll start to see more of that rain creeping farther to the north, impacting the triangle, and still looking at those very intense rain bands and storms throughout the southern half of the state. So looking at the total rainfall through next week, around 3 to 5 inches expected close to the Virginia border, 5 to 10 around the triangle through Rocky Mount, 10 to 15 across northern sections of the Sandhills, and 20+ inches across the southeastern corner of the state. And that's why we do have that flash flood watch in effect across the entire area through Sunday. Right now, it is already pretty breezy. We have winds between around 10 to 15 miles per hour, up to 20 miles per hour in Fayetteville. Winds gusting as high as 30 already in Fayetteville, 28 in Goldsboro, 17 in Irwin. Those winds will continue to pick up, especially on Friday. So here's a look at our wind gust forecast heading into tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, those winds between around 30 and 40 miles per hour, gusting around the triangle and farther to the north. Notice in the Sandhills around 50 miles per hour, really high, especially near the beaches, as that storm continues to get closer by midday tomorrow, up to around 40 to 50 miles per hour across RDU. And then in the Sandhills, similar conditions with those winds gusting as high as 60 to 70 miles per hour. So tomorrow will be the day that you really should likely just stay inside, ride this out. It is going to be windy all across the region, and with winds that high, we could definitely see that potential for power outages across the area. So make sure you have plenty of batteries. That's why we've been emphasizing that you need to have flashlights and a way to get around if you do lose power.